Reflection on the game was on is it Saturday?
It was one of our toughest matches, physically and mentally. It was quite a challenge because for the past two matches we have not been winning, so playing away to a team that is also not having been doing well, especially in their own backyard. So they wanted to come back with, against us, winning against us. So their morale was quite high, but our players showed character, especially in the first half. We were really on song, but our charges were able to withstand their guard up till the second half, when our opponents were no longer, a big threat to us, and we took advantage of that because they were actually playing a very offensive game, but at the same time leaving spaces behind, which we actually took advantage of, and playing the ball behind the defense, and it really worked for us.
Okay. Coming into this game, what was the game plan?
Firstly, it was that the first 15 minutes we should just hold tight, because we were expecting that they would come firing. So if we also play an offensive game, will be vulnerable at the back. So we are able to stand our guard, to keep the shape very disciplined, and I think our players did very, very well regarding to that game plan.
Okay, coach.
Yes. And at the same time, like I mentioned earlier, that when they come, leaving the spaces behind, we should capitalize on that, on those spaces that were left behind, especially because we have very quick players up front, and it really worked well. And we were very happy for our strikers, because they've been having a dry spell in terms of goal scoring, and both of our strikers managed to get goals out of this match.
We have had a crisis of goal scoring, and this past weekend we scored 2 goals. Can we say it's a positive sign that more goals are yet to come?
Yes, that is true, because we were just waiting for that moment when our strikers get the opportunity to score, because for them it's a moral boost, the confidence comes back, and then for the whole team also, and it's something that we've been working on in our training sessions, that we've been working on finishing, having realized that we need to improve on that. So I think with this past match against Zimbabwe, the goals coming, I think there will be now more coming.
Okay. And did you go there to looking for maximum points? Can we say 3 points, or you were hoping just for a point?
No, not for a point, for maximum points. Yeah.
Coach, our defense this weekend was very solid. What was the plan?
I would say they've been solid, really, regardless of having lost the other 2 matches. But they've always stood their ground. And if you recall, if you check our statistics, the past 5 matches before the LCS and Sundowns match, we have not been conceding goals. So these 2 matches, I believe they cannot just make them a bad defense, really. It's just that we are meeting, especially against LCS. It came after a long spell of not having played. They were a little bit rusty. Against Sandawana, we were just unfortunate that we couldn't score goals. And I believe we have one of the best defense in the league.
Okay.
Oh, for the second round, we have conceded 4 goals, scored 4, and won 2, lost 2. Are you happy with the record?
Yeah, I think for starters, I think we can do better. Having said that, now it looks like we are on the roll in terms of getting goals. I believe the next coming matches will score more, will not concede, and we'll have our record now clean again.
And Loko, how did it feel for you guys to go to Putin and come back with a win?
Like the coach said, for the past 2 games before this one, we were really down after all the losses. Especially considering that some of the games we were traveling, like the last we played against Thunder one, we were traveling to Butawite, and our supporters came with us. So it played in our mind that we need to win for these people, because they are always there by our side. So the 3 points, yeah, it meant a lot to us. It's what we've been waiting for, you know.
I think this one is for you, Bully or Coach, I don't know. The boys seem to be always motivated, even if they lost the last game. What do you say to them to motivate them?
As coach.
No, in football, there are 3 things in football. It's either you win, you draw, or you lose. So if you don't win, if you lose, it's part of the game. Yes, at times you'd find that it's a bad loss, especially if your team or the whole team has not been playing well. But the other matches that we have lost, really, our team have shown character. So we always talk after the game and looking at the way forward on how we lost, how we're going to prepare ourselves going forward. So I think we have a bubbly team, guys who know why they're playing, why they're here. They know that the journey it's a long way to go. So we can always learn out of each match that we play.
And Musona, how is the pressure now? Can we say it has you have been relieved now that you won?
I can't really say that, because having a good coach that we have, we always feel like we need to win every game. I mean, it would be injustice for us to lose games, because of the preparations that we have and the facility in the team. So we feel like every game it's a final. We have to win every game. So I would say we are always under pressure to win.
And going forward, we're facing Patalatsani this coming weekend, and we don't have a good record against Patalatsani. How are you playing? How are you guys planning to turn things around?
Patalatsani, I would say it's a wounded tiger, because right now they're in the relegation zone. They're fighting for their lives. So when you're playing a team like that, they will come fire blazing. They'll come with everything they have. So we would, just like any other games, we're going to take that one as a final. We're going to give it our all. And we know, like, in our backyard with our supporters and the management that we have, this is a must win, and we're going there for maximum points.
In the past games that we played, you've been coming in as a sub. Are you happy with your performance?
Yes, considering that I wasn't playing at all, getting few minutes is always good for you. It shows that you're on the right track. So yeah, I'm happy that I'm playing now, but I think as a player I also need to improve. I mean, with the chances that I'm given, I think I should, as a forward, I have to start scoring goals as well.
Coach, We have considered 2 penalties in 3 games. Are you working on that?
Yes, we are working on it, and I think it comes in 2 ways, because really it's something that I think we've discussed it with my technical team and the team manager. Some of the decisions really have not been for football, if I can say that. But we've taken it, like, we always believe that if maybe the middleman would be playing along the lines of laws of the game and fair play, some of the penalty decisions that have gone against us really have been very, very doubtful. But it's something that we're saying as a small team growing up, second year in the Premier League. It's something that we need to accept and believe that we should always, try by all means to just concentrate on the game. Yeah. But yes, of course, our defense have also seen or realized that they need to be more careful in terms of contact. Football is a contact sport, but you cannot play without it, So at times we just have to be very, very careful. Yeah.
And your boys have been picking cards lately. For instance, this past game where I think it's 4 yellows. Doesn't it give you a worry that maybe some will face 1 game suspension?
Yes, it's a worrying factor, but like I've just mentioned before, some of the decisions really have not been football related. Whereby I can say no, this one our player was not supposed to, in terms of his behavior, the player's behavior. But the questions that we have received, those are the ones that they say no, okay, let's just take it on the chin and go on play. Yeah.
Licom, you haven't scored since the season started. Are you hoping to get 1 this weekend, if given chance?
Why not 3? but yeah, like I said, as a forward is judged based on his goal scoring abilities. So yeah, I feel like I need to score. I'm not going to put myself under any pressure to try and score, because we work as a team. So if the team scores goals and we are winning, it's a good thing for us. Personally, of course, I would love to score.
Okay. And Chris, well, I've heard it that maybe in the previous season, our men of the matches were given something as an incentive, and I haven't seen it happening this season. Can you just tell me why?
It's not something I was aware of has happened in previous seasons I've been here. If it is, then somebody else has been doing it. It's not come from me, so I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But don't you think it's time that maybe they get something?
Well, I think the most important thing is they want to go out and the biggest reward is getting 3 points. So I would hope that that's a big enough incentive for the players to go out and play well and get the results. I think that's biggest incentive for everybody.
Coach, from my opinion, you haven't yet changed the team, but the performance of the boys have improved compared from the previous coach. What have you said to the boys? They seem to be motivated, they seem to be comfortable. What have you said to them, or what have you done?
It's been a little bit tight for me. It's been a challenge, but what I've done is to play them on their strength. Is it at their strength?
Yeah.
On their strength. They are a very talented, bubbly team, and what I've done really is just to see to it that everyone should play at his level, best from what he knows, and then we combine together as a unit, and it has worked wonders. And I just want to go back a little bit from your question to Recon. I think he's been one of my best players. Why am I saying that? Most of the time when he comes in, I've taken him as one of our impact players. Because every time when he comes in, I give him instructions and he will play according to the instructions that I've given him. And with the pace that he has and the skill that he has, he always lift up our game. In the last match in Kuti, I was quite impressed with what he did. Actually, all our 3 substitutes which came in, they really did a wonderful job, and I was very impressed and satisfied with their performance.
And you made one change going into that game, that is opting for Chavi in place of Morabit.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that change?
I was expecting that. I believe our team is one of the best conditioned team. I'm just focusing on my team, but with the tests that we've done, the results that we've got, it has shown that we are condition-wise, we are okay. So my expectation was in the last 20-30 minutes of the game, our opposition would have tired. So if they're tired now, if I bring fresh legs, guys who can add in terms of speed and cover distance quickly, they'll make a difference in our game, and it definitely worked.
Coach, looking at the past games that we played, I've seen our boys playing well. When they play, I can say it's carpet football. But when we play, it feels like we played at Botabote. It seems to be a problem. What style are you preferring to play?
I'm not more on the style, because I would say each match comes with its own merits, The challenge that we have in Lesotho is our infrastructure. The ground in Botabote, every Premier League matches we play those kind of pitches, really, I don't see our football growing in the next 10 to 5 years. So we have to adapt to each situation on the weekend that comes in terms of the ground. So we have to, adapt to whatever that we have on that day. Yes.
Okay, and just a random question to Chris. Well, I've just learned that the rest of our home games will not be playing on our home ground. So I don't know if it's gonna be Soto Stadium or you're gonna be changing venues.
Yeah, but we try to play as many of the games as possible at Soto Stadium. Obviously we're a growing team and we're trying to be professional in everything we do. So that includes wanting to play games where there's good enough facilities and pitches for us to play on. Obviously it's been judged that our ground isn't good enough to play Premier League games here, so for us, if this isn't good enough, we need to find a ground that's better. Unfortunately there's none in this area that we can find other than Sesotho Stadium that actually has the facilities that are good enough for us. So the majority of games will move to there. Unfortunately this weekend Sesotho Stadium's not available, so we're still looking for a ground to play at. Like I said, it's not easy to do that because if this one's not good enough, we need to find one that is good enough, and the Premier League decide this one isn't good enough, which ground is good enough for Missouri. I can't find one at the moment, so we should know in the next 24 hours where we're going to play, but at this moment in time we still don't know.
And how is it going to affect you financially in terms of the budget? I don't think you have budgeted that sometime you will be playing Soto.
You're right, no, it wasn't in the budget. Luckily, in our previous game we shared with Bantu. So between gate receipts and them paying half of the fee, we managed to cover our costs. We'll just look as much as we can to try and do double headers, negotiate the price. So hopefully it won't hit us financially too hard. Ironically, one of the reasons why we were told we can't play here is because there's no fence and we can't bring in gate receipts. So instead we have to spend money on playing somewhere else. So to me it doesn't make any sense. But I hope we're doing everything we can to make sure it doesn't affect us too much financially.
Okay.
So in future, Bully, are you planning to bring fans here, or you'll use other teams' fields?
We're hoping is that in the near future we've got plans to build a stadium here. We're working very hard at the moment to secure funding for that. So we're hoping sooner rather than later. We're hoping certainly before next season we'll be in a position to start work on our ground here and building a stadium with stand and astro pitch. So if everything goes to plan, I think next season there'll be building work here anyway, so the chances are we'll have to look for an alternative venue. Hopefully most of our games against at sort of stadium if we have to, but that's the plan at the moment.
And how is Kamohelo and Robert Mikomba coming?
I don't know if Coach knows more. As far as I know, KK's probably a bit further ahead quite a lot further ahead than Robert. KK's back in training. I don't know, Coach will know better than I will how far away he is from the starting team. Robert, we're still waiting to hear for sure how long he's likely to be out for, but it sounds like he's going to miss at least the majority of the rest of the season, if not the rest of the season. It's certainly, I think, a couple of months away from coming back to training, which would suggest he probably won't be fit to play again this season. But I think one thing that I don't think has been mentioned yet today is how well Tabo played the other day in that position.
Yeah,
I thought he was one of the best players on the pitch, especially second half. We did a very good job.
And Coach, can you say, I think it's a few months since you've been here, can you say you're finally settled now that you know your squad, the potential, the weaknesses?
Yes, really, I believe you have made me feel at home, settled. The players have really been magnificent. Everybody around, my colleagues over there have been brilliant, in terms of support. Yes, really. I think now we are at the same wavelength with the players in terms of they know my expectations. We have agreed on how we're going to work, and they've been great. So going forward, we're just taking one step at a time, because I think we have very good youngsters around. So even with our development team, so we're just looking, saying probably sometime next year we can add some of the youngsters coming into the team, and the future really looks good. We're not putting a lot of pressure on ourselves, on the players, but I think we're just cruising with the moment.
And on average, out of 10, how much can you rate this year, Tizan?
Out of 10, I would give him 10. Yeah, he's one of the bright stars that's gonna emerge out of this institution and out of the country, and also he's a very level-headed boy. Actually, most of our players, they are very good in terms of their behavior. Humble, always willing to listen and learn. So he's one of good players that we have.
So now that we've won the past game, can we say maybe that was the start or the beginning of the good things?
I think we've been on the roll even before the last match. We've been on the roll, but like I said earlier, there will be challenges. There'll be challenges, and it's good at times to have those challenges because they always bring you another edge. You can always look around and see how best can you improve. So I think we are on the right track.
Coach, are you happy with the new signings that you have made? Looking at Tawa Masuale, Maestro, and Makanya, have they adapted well with other players?
Yes, we are all happy. Not only myself. I think everyone who was, sitting in terms of when we made the decision to bring them on board. We are all happy with the contribution that they have made so far, and we can see that going forward they are still going to add value to the team.
Are we gonna see any changes on weekend's game?
Yes, there would be some changes in defense. We have Ndate Mupegi. He has a family commitment that we just have to let him go because of family. So we'll have to bring in another player, another youngster will come in there and take charge, and which is very good for him because it will be an opportunity for him also to enjoy himself. Yeah.
Ilkom, how's the morale of the boys towards the weekend's game?
It's still early. We just had one session after that. But it's playing for a big team like this. To us, it's a big team. We are always motivated. Even in the camp, we are always looking forward to the next game. It's like we can play every day, actually. So yeah, the mood in the camp is very high. We are really looking forward to the next game.
Alright, and I'll ask you this question. It was asked in the previous press conference. How is the relationship between the players outside the pitch?
With the players inside the pitch?
No, your players off the field.
Oh, you mean socially? We are. I would say we are family. We are more than just a team. We are family. I mean, of course, I do have a friend here whom I'm always with, but coming into the team, man, we do most of the things together because we spend almost the entire week together. So. So far, I haven't seen or heard of anything bad happening amongst ourselves. So I would say we are a good group.
Bully, where will the game be played this weekend?
Like I said in the last question I was asked, we don't know yet. We hope to know in the next 24 hours.
Oh.
But don't you think it's gonna bring confusion to the players that maybe this weekend they are using Sitsoto, the next they will be using LCS, and the other weekend they will be using LDF?
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why we're trying to get most of the games at Sitsoto, but this weekend we can't. So it will just be this weekend where we've asked the Premier League that due to the fact that it's going to be a small crowd probably, or a smaller crowd than usual, due to the fact that our opponents are unlikely to bring supporters with them. We've asked if we could move it back here. I know they're meeting this afternoon, so I'm hoping they'll come back to me after that. But like I say, if not, this 1 week we're going to have to play somewhere. And like I said in the previous question, I just don't think there's any other grounds here that have, we're proud of the facilities we have here. We have an office here that we can do our admin from before the game. We have changing facilities which most grounds don't. There's one ground very close to here that a lot of teams like to use, where you get changed in an outside car park, which at Premier League level we think is a joke. I think even in most countries you play on a Sunday morning, players still get changing rooms on a Sunday morning football. So that's the difficulty we've got. Is we want to play at a ground that has facilities good enough for a team that I feel is as professional as ours. But if the stadium's not available, then we've got to see what else we can do for this 1 week.
Okay, and one last random question. When will we see the players wearing the new kit?
Probably when we play away against a team that wears blue will be my guess. But I don't make the decision on what kit we wear when. I leave that with the kit man to decide with the technical team.
Alright. Well, I think that's all from us. Unless anyone will say something. Well, we done for today.
Okay, cheers.
Uh,
Good luck on weekend's game.